Cancers, this is Leah with Half Moon Tarot. I will be doing your October 2022 reading. I've already meditated over the cards and asked that Spirit bring whatever's necessary for you to know, for you to hear, expect, and be prepared for, okay? So in the meditation, the Three of Cups comes out, followed by the Justice card, followed by the Two of Swords, okay? So for October, Cancers, it looks like you're trying to find a balance between work and play, a balance between emotions and thought, a balance between celebration and work. You're trying to even out your life, okay? Now, I'm not exactly sure what message Spirit wants to bring with that. I think it's just more of a confirmation that you are being seen. You are being seen in the efforts that you're making on both sides. You are being seen in the efforts that you're making in order to keep a balance in. And don't forget that play is just as important as work. You don't want a little bit more of the other. You kind of want a balance of both. Okay, I think that's the message that Spirit wants to bring. Like, I know I see you working on it. I see you putting effort into it. And just know that if you slack off on one is going to take precedence over the other and it's going to throw you out of balance. Okay, it's going to throw your moods out of balance. It's going to throw your thought patterns out of balance. So make sure that you're getting an even amount of both. Okay. All right, Cancer. So let's see what we got for the October 2022 reading. What do you need to know, expect, and be prepared for? Lots of swords happening, lots of thought. All right, so in the reading, the Three of Swords comes out, followed by the Two of Coins, followed by the Eight of Swords, okay? So maybe lately there have been some things coming up for you, that you thought maybe you had a resolution to. Whether that be through speaking or thought or observation of listening. Maybe there are some things that are coming up for you. Maybe you're being triggered this month. Now, why you're being triggered, we're going to find out what that whole lesson is. But if we were just going based off of these cards, you're being triggered based on something that you find inadequate in life. That's where the Two of Coins comes in. There's an inadequacy. There's a loss of balance in some places and spaces, and you kind of need to speak that out. At this point, when you speak it out, Cancer, you might not say the nicest of things. You might not really think about what it is that you're going to speak. At this point, it is like smoke. It needs to come out, because if it doesn't come out, it's going to damage you in some type of way. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. And if we don't let the smoke out, the fire will either get bigger, or it is going to go out in some type of way. And we all need fire. We all need that light inside of us. There has to be that passion. So when there's inadequacies or imbalances in our life, Cancer, it could put your fire out. Okay, and the only way to keep fire going is if it has oxygen, if it's breathing, if it's speaking. You have to speak it, you have to breathe it, you have to be it. Okay. The Eight of Swords comes in, and this is where I am not understanding. I'm getting a little confused as to which way this direction of reading is going. But when we talk about things that trigger us, it could be the loss of someone. It could be the family aspect, okay? And this is where we start to overthink things. This is where we start to get into a rut of our thinking, like, this is who I am, this is the way that I think. And I really want us to start moving away from the phrase of this is just how I am, because anybody can be in a space of evolving and growth to where who you thought you were no longer. Okay, so maybe these things are coming up, these traumas or triggers are coming up this month because we gotta let it out so we can let go of this is who I am, when really this is who you are right now in the present, but it doesn't have to be who you are moving forward into the future. Okay, we gotta let it go. Whatever we've burned off, it's like we're holding on to it, and you gotta release and let go so that you can grow into what it is or who it is you're supposed to be. I think this is a space of maturing in the mental aspect, right? So, for example, a man who wasn't ready to be a father that is now a father, he's had to mature into this space. But in order to mature into this space, he has to let go. He has to release the childlike qualities that he had before and mature into the adult so that he could be the best father that he can be. He has to address the triggers of his childhood so that he could be a better father than his father or his grandfather or whomever, right? So going along those lines, when something is placed upon you that you really don't think you're ready for, you have to understand that you've been ready, you've been prepared for this. You have to look at what is it that is triggering you to believe that you're not good enough that you're not prepared, and you have to address those triggers and heal those triggers so that you can step into the space that is the best for you. Okay, so that you can be the best for it, really. All right, so the next set of cards that comes out is the Six of Swords followed by the Page of Coins. Okay, now the Six of Swords talks about movement. It talks about you could be physically moving, or your thought pattern could be moving, right? So as we start to heal these triggers and we start to speak these things out so that we can become a better version of ourselves, we'll notice how the thought pattern starts to move. We'll notice how it starts to shift. And it could be because the Six of Coins is seen as a boat on water, right? It's moving, but the waters are a little tumultuous. Okay, so our thought patterns, when we are in a space of healing our triggers, our thought patterns are going to trigger our emotions. Water is the symbolism for our emotions, right? So it might trigger our emotions, which makes this process a little turbulent and tumultuous for you in the beginning. But just know that this is a process of healing, and you can't fly over this. Okay, you can't swim underneath this. You have to go through it in order to get to the maturity level that is waiting for you. Okay, the Page of Coins, it just lets me know that this is something that you asked for. This is something that you thought through. Okay, even if, going back to my original example, that even if the father wasn't, even if the man wasn't ready to be a father, he took the necessary actions and steps in order to become a father, if that makes sense, right? So he took those necessary actions and those steps in order to be in fatherhood. This is something that you asked for. You took these actions. This is the consequence of your actions. Okay, so you're taking steps. You took the steps in order to get into this space. So take all of the steps. I know in the beginning it can look like, oh my goodness, like, overwhelming a little bit. It could be overwhelming. Okay, I feel a little panic in my chest. And just know that this is This is what your actions spoke to what it is that you wanted. Whether you filled out that resume, whether you took the steps to have a kid knowing that mentally you weren't ready for it, whether you, let's go back to filling out the resume, thinking this is something that I could do, but not really taking the mental notes or checking in to see if you had the mental capacity to really even out or really take care of the position that you're applying for, and then you get the job, you know. Or maybe you're taking in a family member because of some family trauma, and you immediately say yes to taking in this family member. And then as you start to get into the action of caretaking, you realize I'm not ready for this. This is not something that I signed up for. And Spirit comes through with the Page of Coins and says, yes, you did. You asked for it, right? But this is not a punishment, Cancer. This is because you were curious, because you took the steps and the actions toward it, you let Spirit know that this is the space in which you wanted to be blessed in. So this is a blessing for you in the sense of you ask for what you got. You ask for what you got. Okay? Just know you've already been prepared for this place in your life. This is not a mistake. You've been prepared for it. We just got to deal with, we have to heal the old in order to get into the space mentally, emotionally of the new. And even physically. Okay, so the last card that comes out is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands talks about shifts in actions, okay? So as you start to heal in this space of the old and you're moving into this new, better position of life, you will start to notice how your actions are changing, right? Where your intentions lie. You might start your day more intentional than how you did before. You might do things that you're only passionate about instead of doing things to fill your time, okay? There will be a shift and a change in that. And it's coming through as confirmation. It's coming through as once you start to heal yourself, you will notice how your actions and your passions and your intentions will change, from the way that you speak to the way that you think to the way that you listen and observe. All of that is going to shift in some places. There have been some previous readings that I did this week, this month, that it's a few of the zodiac signs that are going through this. You guys are moving through a space of natural shift, of natural change. Now some are going through a natural shift and change of thought patterns. Some are going through a natural change and shift of people in their life. You, for example, Cancers, you're going through a natural shift of action. So an intention and passion. So the confirmation for you this month, when you know that you're on the right path, you will notice yourself being more intent. You will notice yourself being more passionate, being more action driven. And that would be like, oh yeah. I see the difference that Leah was talking about. I see the change in me, okay? So good luck on that, Cancer. And with that being said, that is your October 2022 reading. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see y'all next month. Bye.